Hello? Live? Live? Okay. So, good evening, all. Welcome to Online Ventures, and we are back with one more live session. Today's live session is really very important because the wait is over. We have Brigadier Venu Sir with us. We'll be discussing about main things about SSB which candidates are not aware about. First of all, we'll start with the introduction. Sir, welcome to Online Ventures. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity so that you can share your experience as well as candidate can get benefit from your words. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Rohit.
Okay, sir. We'll start with a brief introduction about you, about your army life, and the experience that you have with SSB, and what you want to share with us.
Yeah, will I not be able to see the candidates, or
No,
now I can only see you?
No. Candidates are live with us. They are just seeing us, and I'll be sharing the comments that they want us to clarify because we are live on YouTube.
Okay. Now, good evening, gentlemen. I hope either are there only boys or there are some girls also?
No, sir, we have boys and girls. I think we have more than 25,000 subscribers. So live right now, we have more than 20 people right now. We have joined us, and it will keep on increasing.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening, both both the boys and girls. I hope I believe you are all very keen to join the armed forces. That is the first requirement to be looking at the SSB. You should be keen, and you should have chosen it as a matter of first choice that this is the profession that I want to pursue. That is the reason that you should be here. Now, coming to a brief introduction of myself, I am Brigadier Venu. I retired recently, just in July this year. I got about 36 years of service in the army. Being across the length and breadth of this country, from Chushul, Fukche, or Galwan, to all the way down to Indira Point in Andaman Nicobar, the southernmost point of the country, and similarly from Tanot or Ranautar, which is one of the westernmost part of this our country, to Geling and Kangri Kapurthala, which is on the easternmost part of this country. I've traveled widely, and I've been to the United Nations also briefly for some time.
Right, so
as far as your interests go, I've been an interviewing officer and president of an SSB for almost 5 years, with over 5,000 hours of experience in taking evaluative interviews of candidates. That is, I have done over little over 5,000 interviews, which is not easy to come by. 5,000 interviews over 4.5 to over 5 years is the kind of experience that I have with me as far as the SSB goes. So I can assure you, if you are keen, you are in the right hands to pursue your passion to join the armed forces. My specialization, though, is just taking interviews. I am fully capable of guiding you individually in your aspects of psychology as well as your GTS. That will all be online. Now, coming to what is this SSB all about? No, SSB, unlike any other interview, which is normally just over an hour or 2 hours or several stages of interview, which is in an interactive session. This is done over 5 days in an in-camp manner. You are put in a camp, and that is, you live together and you learn about each other, and it is through in that process that the 5 days process is put through. It is unlike any other exam. It is not like your evaluation of your knowledge or anything in particular, but it is a wholesome evaluation of your personality. That is that we try to achieve through the SSB interview. The 5 days process is very elaborate and very comprehensive to touch every aspect of your life that you have lived so far, to take out the essence of what you are, so that we can decide as to what is it that you are made of what has been your growth until now, and what promises that you make, visually or otherwise, that we can groom you into an effective officer of the army. Why this? We try to look through you, through your mind, your body, your skills of communication and persuasive skills. We see through you all, like what you in Sanskrit, what we say, manasa, vacha, karmana. We see through you through all three aspects as to how, in what socioeconomic background you have been brought up, how have you utilized those opportunities, and what is the potential of growth that you are throwing up because of how you have utilized your opportunities that came your way. It's also about your attitude, aptitude, and learning skills. To put it simply, your past life is indicative of your future growth, and that is what we essentially try and look at when we try to put you through the SSB interview of 5 days. What happens in these 5 days is more important. The 5-day process is for various things. The day you arrive, this could be a little different at various places. Some places, the day you arrive, if you arrive in the afternoon, that day is kept free. You only do your essential documentation, and thereafter, the next day, your activity commences. On the first day, whichever day, there are places where you are asked to report early in the morning, around 5:36 in the morning, and then after a brief breakfast and some kind of documentation, you are put through the first day of screening test. The first day is a screening test. Only those who clear the screening test goes into the stage 2 of the part 2 or stage 2 of the test. That is the comprehensive selection process. The first day, where screening is it is in 2 parts. The first part is an OIR, or Officers Intelligence Rating Test, which is both. It is a simple, very, very simple, basic intelligence test based on verbal and non-verbal stimulants. If you look at some of these intelligence tests that comes around in competitions such as like other current affairs magazines, if you are constantly attending them and doing it with clarity, it should be fair enough for you to go through the test and fare well. The second part is a more important part, which is called the picture perception and description test. In this, you are shown a picture, and based on that picture, for a brief time of 30 seconds, you see the picture. Thereafter, you are required to, in a format that is explained to you, you are required to write a story. Having written the story, you are put into groups of 10 to 15, and then in the second part of the PPDD test. The PPDD test has got 2 parts. The first part is writing the story, and the second part is about a group discussion in which there are 2 parts again. In the first part, you try and tell your own story and also listen to other stories. The 10 to 15 guys, they share their story amongst each other, for which each one is given a minute. Thereafter, you get into a discussion to arrive at a common story. Your individual stories apart, you are now required to act as a group and arrive at a common story. Having done that, somebody is told to give out the common story. It may or may not happen, and depending on the time available. But we would have made out during the course of this thing that the batch is the group of 10 to 15 guys have more or less arrived at a common story, and that's the time it will be called up, for which you get about 10 to 15 minutes depending on the strength of the group. If it's only 10 guys, you will get only 10 minutes. And if it is about 15 guys, they give you about 15 minutes. So that everybody get a chance to take part in the discussion and arrive at a common story. Right. Having done that, you are sent out and your assessment is completed. And thereafter, the assessors sit together to decide who all have to be kept and who all have to be rejected. Of course, In UPSC entries, the selection rate of UPSC entries is about 70 to 80%, while in other entries where there are no exams like TGT or other entries where you come through with NCC, etc., where you come without an exam, or TES, the TGT, TES, and your
NCC entry.
NCC entry, and maybe even JAG are some of the entries where people come there to take part in the exam, in the test without an entrance exam. In those cases, depending on the strength reporting, it could be from 10% of retention to about 50% or 60%, depending on the strength that is arrived. Suppose it is also dictated by the capacity of a board. A capacity of a board to test further. The part 2 of the test is about 40 to 50. Based on that, the number of people reporting, you will get a percentage of that. The fundamental factor remaining that a board can test only 40 to 50 guys at any one time. So that is how the 5-day process is carried out. And thereafter, whosoever is retained, the others will be asked, will be told to return home, and those who are retained are put through the balance 4 days of testing, which includes the day 1, day 2 is a psychology test, day 3 and 4 is a group testing, where you are tested on your practical aspects, and in between, on day 2 and day 3 and day 4, in your time when the testing is not on, you will be put through the personal interview by the interviewing officer, and thereafter, on day 5, there is a conference in which we decide on your fate. Each candidate is called in, briefly interacted with, and in certain cases, the interaction may go on for a little longer, and thereafter we decide whether you are to be recommended or otherwise. Once that conference gets over, the result is announced, and those who have retained will be, those who have been recommended will be asked to stay back, and others will be bid farewell to. Thereafter, you go through the medicals, which is conducted in a military hospital close by, which is normally done over 4 to 5 days, which is not part of the SSB interview per se. It is only for those people who have gone through successfully with the SSB interview.
Right.
Now, during the course of the psychology, you will not get to see your assessor. It is all your written aspect that will be taken into, and you will be put through all the tests under lots of pressure of time, so that your real personality and no artificial personality comes out. With the real personality, your real personality through a series of tests, which includes, there is a story writing, which is called the thematic appreciation test, where you have shown 12 pictures in one after the other, with each following the other for about 4 minutes. And in that, you are required to write a story. 30 seconds, the picture will be shown to you, and thereafter you get 4 minutes to write a story. Like that, there will be 12 stories that you have to write. And the end, in the last one, there will be a blank story in which you can write whatever story that you wish to. Thereafter, after a short break, you are put through the word association test, where you have shown 60 words, one behind the other, for 15 seconds, and you are required to write one sentence on relating that word that you have seen. Again, there is a break. Thereafter, you are put through the situation reaction test. You are given a booklet of about 60 situations, and for each situation, you get 30 seconds. You are required to write your reactions to the situation that is given, and in a separate sheet of paper. Mind you, you have to go through it serially and answer those in that serial order. It is not it is not like your exam, you put the question number and do it. No. You have to write it in the sequence that it is there. You may leave blank. You may give question number 10 blank and go to question number 11, but you have to answer it in that sequence. And having done that, you are required to write a little story about yourself, which is called self-description. in which you are asked to write about your opinion, basically about your peers, from your peers. It includes your parents' opinion, your teacher's opinion, your friend's opinion, your own opinion about yourself, your strengths, weakness, and your aim in life, and also how do you wish to improve yourself and how are you working towards that. So this takes the day one of your test. Thereafter, the day 2 and day 3 are group activities where you are put through a series of activities in which you are required to interact within your group to find solutions to the problems given to you. It includes a group discussion in which it is held in 2 parts. You are given a subject and you are made to discuss on the subject. The GTO or the group testing officer only will tell you the modalities of conduct of the event. Thereafter, he will leave it to you to carry on the show. Each discussion is for about 15 minutes. The first discussion, you are given 2 subjects. You get to select one subject, and thereafter you are let free for about 2 minutes to organize your thoughts, and thereafter you are put together and you have to engage in a discussion. Thereafter, there is a short break of about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. You may be given a cup of tea or something to refresh yourself, go to toilet, etc. Thereafter, again, this time one subject will be given by the GTO himself. There will be no choice, and then you will be required to discuss again. Again, 15 minutes, the modalities are same. Once you are done with it, you have to go to the next one, which is the group planning exercise. Also known as, it as also military planning exercise, GB, military planning exercise. There are many other names it is known under. Basically, you are shown a small model of an area in which the GTO initially will explain to you a situation. Will read out the situation that is existing, and thereafter the same story will be given to you for you to read in a printed sheet of paper. Having done that, and you are now required to write down your own individual solutions in the next 10 minutes or so. In that, you are required to write what are the problems that you have seen for yourself to be solved, what are the resources available to you, how are you going to use the resources, the time and the ground that is available to you to solve that problem which is at hand. It is, it can be easily compared to organizing anything at home. There is a marriage to be organized, or there is an event which is coming up, and as you go by organizing this event, some problems come up. You have to resolve those problems also. So it involves identifying the problem, identifying and generating the resources, thereafter employing them with absolute shrewdness to effectively solve the problem within the given stipulations of time, space, etc. So this is another part of it. It is again held in 2 parts, as I told you. Initially, you have to write your own solutions, and thereafter, you have to engage in a discussion to arrive at an agreeable solution for the group. Something similar to what you did in the PPDP second part. You have given your own solutions, this time written, and thereafter you discuss amongst yourself to arrive at a common problem. Thereafter, you are taken to the ground. Till now, you have been interacting only verbally. Now you get into some kind of physical activity in which there are 3-4 parts of this physical activity. There is the first one is progressive group task. The second one is half group task. The third one is command task. And the fourth one is a final group task. These are the group activities which you have to do as a group as part of your solving a problem. There are other tests also which you perform in a group, which is known as the group obstacle race or it is also popularly known as the snake race. Individually, you are required to give a lecture of 3 minutes or so, and also you have to perform your individual obstacles. There's an individual obstacle course. The whole thing is divided in 2 days. The first day, and you spend about 7 to 8 hours with the GTO over the next 2 days. The first day, after the group discussion and the group planning exercise, there is a short break. You may get to have some refreshments and all, and thereafter you start with the progressive group task, in which you are given a set of obstacles and a set of tools that you could use to negotiate the obstacles as a group. The entire activity has to be decided. The GTO will only be briefing you with the rules and how the event will be conducted. Thereafter, you are left to yourself to perform among the group. There are no outside help that comes up. You are supposed to help, discuss among yourself, decide on what is your course of action, and thereafter you have to convert that decided plan into action to negotiate that obstacle. As it is suggested from the name of the thing, it is progressive group task. It is a group of 3 to 4 set of obstacles. I think it is 3 set of obstacles that you have to negotiate. Like it is said, it is progressive in nature. It means the degree of difficulty will keep increasing as you go from one set to the next set to the next set. Thereafter, this takes about 40 minutes to complete. Thereafter, you've given a small break, and after the break, you are divided into 2 halves. Normally the group is about 10 people. The 10 is now divided into 5. And again, you are put through one set of exercise, one set of obstacles, which is known as half group task, which would be the norm. The degree of difficulty will grow up slightly from what you have learned during the progressive to group task. And thereafter, you are required to go on with the same kind of activity to negotiate that set of obstacles, that is the half group task. This is done basically to give more opportunity to some people. In a group, somebody is a little more dominating, somebody has got better skills in talking and all, so he will probably dominate the group. So when it comes to half, you are just 4 or 5 of you, so you get a greater chance to interact among yourself and put across your ideas and perform. After the group half group task is over, that is the end of this group exercises for that day. I will take you to the next thing is that same day, immediately after this, you will be taken for the group obstacle race. It is basically a group of about 10 odd obstacles, which you are to perform as a group. As a group means you can mutually help each other and negotiate the obstacle, and you are given a snake or a material which is long, which is about 10-12 feet long, which is made out of some canvas or hay or something. It's a very lightweight thing, but it is an item that has to be carried along with you through the race till the finish line, and it is held as a competition. The other groups, till now your group was all alone. There are 40 guys. There will be 2, 3, 4 other groups which will join you, and it is held as a competition to take you through the entire set of 10 obstacles as a group, and you are competing among each other, and you will be assessed for your activities. Remember, it is a group activity, so you are permitted to help each other and take the group along, and it is not about your individual skill to negotiate any obstacle. Thereafter, that day, the last event of the first day of the GTO is, that is your day 3, or it is also called GTO 1 day. You will be put through, you are now made to assemble in a stand. It could be outdoor or indoor. You are now made to sit together, and in turn, each person is given a choice of subjects which you can pull out from chits that is placed across you. And from the 3 or 4 subjects which are given to you, you are required to select a subject. And thereafter, when the 3 minutes get over, you are supposed to expected to speak on that subject for 3 minutes. And it goes on cyclically for all the 10 guys. So it takes about 35 to 40 minutes to go through this activity. That will be the end of day 1 as far as GTO goes. Now coming to the day 2. Day 2 starts with the individual obstacle race. There are a series of 10 obstacles numbered serially, and the numbers also indicate the number of points which is dedicated to each of that obstacle. You are required to negotiate those obstacles from a place of your choice. It is not that it has to be negotiated from serial number wise. You can start from anywhere and go through the entire obstacle. You can do 1, then thereafter you can do the 10th obstacle, thereafter you can do the 8th obstacle, then you may do the 7th, then you may do 6, then you do may 4, then you may do 3. So you can go anywhere you please and negotiate that obstacle. Only thing is, if you have to repeat the cycle, you have to complete the first set of obstacles to do the second set. And for each of them, there are a set of rules which will be told to you, and you have to negotiate these as per the set of rules given. It indicates your flexibility, your physical and mental stamina, and your risk-taking capability, etc. Thereafter, after the group obstacle race gets over, the next part is, your individual obstacle race gets over. The next part is your command task, where you are individually called and given a problem, which will be a simple problem, which is similar to what you have seen in the in the progressive group task and half group task. Something similar, but a smaller problem, which you can resolve in about 10 minutes. And thereafter, you are allowed to pick your own guys, 2 guys whom you may call of your choice, and thereafter they join you, and you are put through. You are allowed to make use of this group to negotiate that obstacle the way you guide them. So you become the superior of the group, and you can guide the group and direct the group to negotiate these obstacles. Having done that, each person is given a turn individually. The others are made to sit far away, so they have no means of seeing what is the obstacle being seen. And generally, the 10 guys get 10 different, mostly 10 different music or something different from what you have seen with your other friends and all. So everybody gets a different set of obstacle, and you are required to negotiate that. Having finished that, you are taken to the last part of the GTO. That is the final group task. Final group task is something similar to the progressive group task. You have got 1 or 2 sets of obstacles. You are required to negotiate them. It will be slightly more difficult than what you have negotiated already, but you have got 2 days of knowledge, practical knowledge of negotiating these obstacles, and I am sure most of you who reach that stage will find it very, very easy to negotiate these obstacles as a group. You will find all the solutions coming out very, very fast, and you are able to negotiate these obstacles over these 2 days. Now, on the day 2 and day 1, 2, and 3, that is your psychology day, your GTO 1 and GTO 2 days, you're free after the test is over. On the psychology day, you're free by about 10 o'clock in the morning, and GTO day you're free. The first day you're free by around 11:30 or so, and second day you're free by around 10:30 or so. And the balance of the time is utilized for your personal interview on each of these days. On the psychology day, on the GTO day, on both days of the GTO. The major part of the interview of the group will be completed on the day 1 and day 2, and on the GTO 3 day it will be only very few people, 4 or 5 people who would be 3-4 people who will be left with the interview. The interview is the only event where you get to interact with an individual person. You are one-on-one with the interviewing officer, and the interview is basically on based on the life that you have lived so far. That is, whatever you have done in your life till then, from your schooling to your whatever you did in your school by way of your academics, by your extracurricular activities and many other things that you may have engaged yourself in, your hobbies, interests, etc. And then some time about your family and how do you spend time with family in your neighborhood and things of that nature. And thereafter, there is something about your hobbies, interests, your neighborhood activities, some problems that you may have faced, your newspaper reading, magazines, other activities that you may have involved yourself in. All those are gone through with the interviewing officer. This is generally, the stipulated time is about 30 to 40 minutes, in which the interviewing officer takes you through your entire gamut of the life that you have lived so far. And he will, we have no fixed format for this thing, other than these 3-4 things that I told you. It is one question is about your education and all the activities that you have involved yourself in your school. The second question would generally be around your family. The third question is about your hobbies, interests, etc. The fourth question will be about your routine. How do you keep yourself engaged? How do you use your spare time, etc. And a fifth question on certain current affairs and some situations that may be thrown up during the course of this. Most of the questions are designed based on what you speak. We have no questions up our sleeve that we come prepared. No. There is nothing that is there. That is from where you speak. And how do we gather? So that is what the interview is all about. We gather this information. There is a form that is you are made to fill up at the beginning of after stage 1 is completed, you are required to fill up a form, which is called the personal information questionnaire. Your personal information questionnaire is something like your Janam Kundli. You fill up all your details in that. What is your name, your father's name, your parents, their employment, their income, where do you live, where have you lived the longest, where are you presently staying, what is the kind of education, which all schools that you've been through, your percentages, your extracurricular activities, achievements, NCC, sports, games, all kind of things are filled up. So therefore, you need to fill it up very, very carefully without making mistakes. Thereafter, the next part, this questionnaire you fill up and certain other documents that you fill up. Those are the documents which are used to gather the essential information about you by the psychologist, the interviewing officer, and also by the GTO. GTO also interacts with you during the command task. When he takes you from where you are sitting down to the command task, he carries out a brief interaction with you to gather certain details about you. So that is from where we gather all the details. So those details must be filled up very correctly, neatly, and without bluffing. So now, having come to that, what is it that we are looking for? This is more important. You will be all curious. What is it that we are looking for? What we are looking for is your personal qualities, which we call in our language officer-like qualities. There are about 15 of them that we look forward to. I will briefly mention, you don't have to bother about this, that this chap is looking for this quality, so I need to do like this. So no, that is not possible. You have to keep yourself as simple and normal as possible and work your way as you would work in your school or elsewhere when you are dealing with your friends and your peers. So these are basically your practical intelligence is one of them, your reasoning ability, your organizing ability. How do you organize things? Your power of expression. Are you able to put across things with clarity, both in all across the spectrum, that is during your psychology, your GTO, as also your interview. Thereafter, your social skills of, are you able to adapt to a group and quickly adjust and take charge of things? Are you able to cooperate with people? Also, are you displaying the correct sense of responsibility when encountered with problems? We also try and see how confident are you. Are you able to take quick decisions? Are you able to influence your group by your persuasive skills? And are you one of those who is able to maintain your cheerfulness when encountered with problems? Thereafter, we also see your determination to achieve your goals, your courage, which includes both physical and mental courage, with mental courage being more important than physical courage, and then your physical and mental stamina. All these are some of the aspects that we put you which we assess you. These are 15 of them that I listed. All these qualities are asked, we try to explore and find out to decide. It is not that there are no perfect human beings. It is a combination of these. Some of them, one guy may not be very sharp. Some we can slightly overlook. Some we may not be able to overlook at all. And it's a combination of all these in the right quantum that decides you're getting recommended or not getting recommended, or what you call conference down. Now, what is it? What are the myths about SSB? One myth is that one of the first myth that I come across dealing with candidates is that Allahabad is a rejection center. This is a very commonly heard statement that let me remind you, let me appeal to you, there are no rejection centers. I have been in Allahabad for about three plus years, and there are times when we have not selected anybody for 3 months, and there are times when a whole group got selected. Unheard of. When I went for the SSB, my group had, those days this stage one was not there. I was in an absentee batch. We are 15 of us. All 15 got selected. So it is not that we have any fixed number that has to be selected or rejected. The army is short of people. Army is dearly short of officers, and we want to select guys. Only thing is, we will only select the right kind of guy who can live that life for us. Otherwise, there is no point in taking it. It is unlike any other profession. Are you imaginative? Are you able to? It is not about mugging up. It is not like any maths exam or your science exam that I attempted in the word association test. I attempted all 60, so I should get 60 marks. No, it is not like that. It is about how well we are trying to see your personality, not how have you written that sentence, how beautiful is your sentence. No. We are trying to read through your personality, and therefore it is not about your maths, sum getting correct. We are trying to read your personality. What is inside you? What is beyond what you have written? That we are trying to see. So therefore, it is not an exam of the kind that you have faced ever in life. Therefore, then people ask you, sir, do we prepare? You also said in the thing, maintain your naturalness and be your individual, retain your individuality. Yes, you must retain your individuality, but you must not be. If you have to do good swimming, what do? You have to get into the pool and swim. Therefore, it is good to be practicing. Practice makes one perfect. Remember this. It is true for everything in life. It is also true for SSB. But only thing is, your preparation is not about mugging up sentences or mugging up stories. It is about developing your personality. How are you seeing things? Are you hesitant? If you are hesitant, how are you trying to overcome that hesitation and then get through it? You may also think that, if you are screened out the first time or the second time, there is no chance for you to get through. You are absolutely wrong. There was some person who came to me when he had already attempted 22 times the SSB. He had failed all times. And on the 23rd chance, he was selected. He having spent about 2 months with me on and off. He used to come to me, and we used to sit together and work out things. And he was one hell of a slogger. He worked so hard that he made it, and he made it, very high in merit, because we could chip and polish what was existing in it and make it shine. And therefore, there is no limitation in you that if it is your second chance is over, then it's. But you have to constantly improve. Personality is a constantly evolving thing based on what is the social, where are you, how are you making use of the surroundings and situations around you, how do you develop yourself, making use of that opportunity, how do you learn from the experience that you want, and then you adopt that experiences and build upon those experiences to get selected. That is what is more important. One may think that if you are convent educated, if you are educated in Delhi or some metros, and you speak good English, you have a good chance. No, I am looking for a person who can communicate with basic detail. I am not looking for one person who can speak excellent English, but there is no noise. Empty vessel also makes a lot of noise. Therefore, we are not looking for that good noise, but we are looking for a guy who is practical, who can communicate with his group, influence his group, and effectively make that group function for the goal of the group. That is the kind of guy that we are looking for. Therefore, it is not where you come from. Mind you, I have selected a boy who was somewhere from Bathinda or some remote village in Roped, or I'm not remembering the place, Roped or some place like that. He got selected when I was president in Allahabad, in Kapurthala. He was from an absolute rural background with no resources. He had no playfield, nothing. His father he had one just less than half a bigha of land in which they were keeping 10-15 cows and buffaloes and running that show. That is the only income and some land that his father had taken on lease and doing some cultivation. That is all that they had. But this boy, among those, and if I remember again, he was only one among the two who got selected. And today he is an officer in the army. He had no opportunities to play games. He had no hobbies. The only hobby that he pursued was he used to help his father and mother to look after the cattle and help them in the farm. But he did that well. He had very, very deep knowledge about what he was doing. And he had that fire in him to learn and understand things and take it forward. That is what you are looking for. Are you ready to work hard? If you are ready to work hard, we have the place for you. Absolutely. The army is short of people, and we are desperately looking for people with the right mix of qualities. If those are there, we are ready to take you, we are ready to polish you up and do them. Now, what are the common mistakes that people make? One is hesitation. The first and the foremost is hesitate. Many of you know the things, but you have a fear, I may be wrong. Why you feel so? Because earlier also you have been hiding. You're waiting, and you're waiting for some of your friend to push you forward, then you come and do it. Otherwise, you will just, do that minimum and get away with it. That won't help. Then, not using opportunities that come your way to develop yourself. Everything is a matter of opportunity. Every situation, every problem that comes to you is an opportunity for you to learn. Whether if you run away from that opportunity, you have lost that opportunity. Even if, like that boy who was looking after the cattle at his home, his opportunity was only that, but he made use of it absolutely. And he developed his skills around that, and he knew exactly what he has to do. And he showed enough promise to learn anything that came his way. So that is what we are looking for. Then there is a casual approach. मैं बाद में कर लूँगा. If there is बाद में कर लूँगा, that बाद में tomorrow never comes. It is only today that you have to work. Tomorrow, when you reach tomorrow, it is again today only. So you have to work. And everybody, this 15 qualities that I have named, everybody has got it in him. Some qualities in lesser qualities, some qualities in larger qualities. You have to only focus your skills to sharpen them, polish them up, and make it grow. Another thing is poor observation skills. You go through many events while in school, college, at home. Even it is just let it be a simple event as a marriage at home. It gives you tremendous amount of opportunities to learn things. If you turn it into only a dance and eating time and drinking time, then you have lost that opportunity. If you learn how was the whole system being evolved, what all planning has been done, how was the finances generated, how did we plan the event, how did we execute that event. If you observe all this, you may not be actually taking part in it, but if you observe, imbibe, and make it yours, you have learned it. You have learned it, and you got enough strength in you to become an officer. So these are some of the things now. So if you have these skills, make use of them and don't put it away for another day. You have the spirit in you and you have the opportunity in you to prepare for the SSB and get selected. With that, I will end my session of, I thought of speaking to you only for about 35 minutes. Now I'm well over 45 minutes of talking, and I'll leave you the remaining for clearing any of your doubts. More of it. Anyone who wants to, make use of my services or the institution services for developing yourself, you're most welcome to join the courses that are products that are offered by the academy and develop yourself. I'll only be too happy to join in the effort and help you in every aspect of your development, give you suggestions. But let me also tell you, I don't have any jaram goody with me which I can give you pilo or iske baad theek ho jayega. No, I don't have anything. The jaram goody is with you, and that is lot of hard work, lot of concentrated, intelligent, focused hard work with the develop to improve each time that you do a thing. Whether it is handwriting, whether it is anything that comes your way. The way you put down a book itself indicates how responsible you are.
Yes, sir.
So it is for you to learn, observing your surroundings, how your teacher, your friends, your colleagues, maybe even the persons you hate, how are they doing things? How is it that they are doing things better, differently, and making a mark? Everybody is learning the same lesson here. Everybody goes to school, learns the same lesson. Somebody becomes an IAS officer, somebody becomes, fails in the exam. How does it happen? Everybody has got only 24 hours in a day. It is not that fellow who is clearing IAS got some extra time, he could take a loan of some time and use it. No. Everything else can be borrowed. Time cannot be borrowed. Time is only 24 hours. So it is within that 24 hours that you make use of your time. And those who say there is no time, those who say, sir, I get enough time, it is only how you organize it. Rest, the time is 24 hours. You can give me thousands of dollars, I can't give you a 1 millisecond extra for your life. You're destined to live only that much that you have been sent here for. So make use of that opportunity. Yeah. Now I leave it, the house is open. You can put your doubts across. I will clarify.
Thank you so much, sir. Mostly, I think you have answered most of the hows and why English is important and why we need to improve our communication skills. But there's a girl, Priya Kumari, she's asking that if she has not performed or participated in extracurricular activities, so how she need to prepare for the SSB interview, because she has not been keen student in academics as well in her school.
See, now I gave you the example of this Roped boy.
Yes, sir.
Who had no hobbies, no sports, no games, nothing. He grew up at a home where he was only looking after cattle. Yes, sir. But how did he make use of those opportunities around him? What is the name of the girl?
Priya Kumari, sir.
Priya Kumari must be doing something at home. From that, what has she learned?
Right, sir.
So those are things that you need to. How has he learned from that? Everything that you learn from whatever comes your way is what you imbibe, right. And therefore it is from that you are going to develop your skills. It is not necessary, person to person. Somebody is city bred, somebody is staying in the finest of public schools, somebody is studying in a school where it is just the building and nothing more. and in a village where there are no other facilities, fine. But there are other opportunities around you.
Right, sir.
Somebody is working at home, somebody is taking part in various activities at home. So those are, from that you should be able to learn and think higher. How to become, those, from that, are you able to think and make out, these are bigger activities that I get from the skill set that I've acquired, can be utilized. If that is done, there is no problem. Your hobby must be maybe just cooking, maybe washing clothes and maintaining the house. That is also a hobby. It needn't have to be only, cricket and, violin or bhangra. It need not be any of that. You can be just at home. You are looking after things, taking care of your parents, looking after matters at home and running a house. It is fair enough. But have you learned from it? Are you able to pick up the essentials and add on to that and think of bigger things when you as you grow? That is why the PAQ form is asked. You are asked, where are you from? Where have you lived? What is your father's income? Somebody's father's income is 5,000 rupees. He cannot give 500 rupees to his son or daughter for his pocket money. But there will be another boy who is a city bred, who is son of a big merchant or some IAS officer. He may be getting 5,000 rupees pocket money. But how do you utilize that 5,000 rupees will indicate what is your outlook.
Right.
You may not be getting 5,000 rupees, but still you are only getting money just enough to based on your demands. कि कल बोलेगा मुझे जूता खरीदना है, they will give you just 200 rupees.
Right.
But the boy from the city will say, no, I want 10,000 rupees to buy shoes. So
Right.
the 2,000 rupees, 200 rupees shoes and 5,000 rupees, you are walking the same distance when you walk to school. So how you look at things and make use of your opportunities is what matters, and not essentially that you have to fill up all the columns and then pick up extracurricular activities. Extracurricular activity could be anything.
So, okay, sir.
Even reading a book is an extracurricular activity. It doesn't require money. You can go to the library and read a book.
Yes, sir, definitely, sir. So now
Yeah.
we have two more questions. That first question is very important, that how to deal with a fish market like situation when it arises in group discussion. And another question is that if suppose some candidate is having around 2 years gap after 12th because he went for some medical coaching or PMT coaching and he did not clear it, then how he should improve his performance.
Okay. The first one, there are two parts of the question. The first one is when there is a fish market. I think there are some repeaters in
Definitely. Yes, yes.
the group of people.
We have more than
Okay,
50
now-
candidates, sir.
Okay. Now, in every group, see, there is one is a GTO is there. The GTO is keenly observing people from the time you fall in for the group discussion. He knows, and from what he speaks, he makes out. One is, while there is a fish market kind of situation, there is one boy who is trying to speak only once in a while. He's not constantly speaking and not in a group. When you function, what is the dynamics of a group? You have to give opportunity to others also. That is also your social mannerisms. Are you able to adapt to the group and give you opportunity? It is not that, say if there are 10 guys and there are, a group discussion takes about 15 minutes. Say with little intervention between by the GTO to bring order to the group of this fish market like situation. And, say you get about 14 minutes. Divided by 10, what you get is 1.4 minutes per guy. That is the kind of time that you should use. That means as long as you enter, speak for about 20-25 seconds each time, it is fair enough. It is not that you have to be constantly speaking. And then, even in this fish market like situation, there are ebbs and lows in a group. There are times when everybody is trying to talk, and then there will be a spell of silence. Those are times when you can enter and make your point briefly, precisely, and listen. And this fish market kind of situation enters when you try and make the group discussion into a debate. When you take sides, and then like a parliamentary, debate, that TV debate that happens, then you not allowing anybody to talk because you want to prove a point. That is not the aspect of a there is no debate in this. In the entire GTO, there are no debates. There are only discussions. So you should give points for, against, and neutral points in support of the subject that has been thrown. There will be points against the issue. There will be, and it is all. But invariably, what happens is that people state one point of issue because they have lack of knowledge. So they state one issue and they keep harping on it without adding anything to the point. Without anything adding more, they keep debating that this I am right, therefore you are wrong. And then the whole thing goes for a sing. So it is your capability to make sure that you keep saying, you keep giving different points. But the GTO also makes out, if you are continuing to repeat the same point that you are wrong and that is right, I am right, then he will allow the fish market to carry on because he knows that nobody is throwing up anything new, that he has to halt them and steer them to a new direction. Therefore, it is up to you to enter at points when there are less of talking, and you must contribute to the discussion by contributing for, against, and the neutral points of the issue, so that it is like a door, half open. Half open door is also half closed. A third person can observe it is, third person may not see why it is half closed. He may give a reason for that half closing. It's like, if I keep it completely open, there is no privacy. But yet he wants some light. That is why he is. The other would, a fourth person would say that, the half they have forgotten to open it. All this, everybody is correct. So therefore, you have to give points for, against, and neutral points in a discussion. And if you keep doing that, the GTO will certainly observe that this boy is giving points relevant to the discussion. And do not take sides. And many fish markets like situations are created by one chap trying to support the other without having to add anything because he has no knowledge about it. It also is a matter of your wide knowledge. Read up a lot, prepare yourself, make points about subjects that are current, and you could also interact with guys who are coming back from SSBs, pick up those subjects and pick up points. Don't mug up the sentence, but you should be able to pick up those points, write it down, and then make use of it. And what was the second issue that you highlighted, Rohit?
As it was like if some student is having 2 years gap after 12th because he went for some PMT coaching medical exam and then he cleared CDS exam, and how it will impact his performance if he is having gap. I mean, he dropped after 12th.
The gap is hardly matters as long as he utilized his opportunities correctly.
Right.
One is trying to be foolhardy. You didn't make it in your first jam, you didn't make it in your second jam, you are still trying to clear the exam, you are not able to clear, and you are still struggling there with, and you have no alternate track that you are trying to choose.
Right.
You should have an alternate aim. It is not, if not this, I should have a place to go, thing. It is not that you blindly keep trying. It is also about your decision-making capability. And this is also about your persuasive skills. Are you able to tell your parents, why this is not my cup of tea? I will not be able to do it. At some point, that realization has to come to you.
Right, sir. Got it. And one more.
Those are issues that you have to consider while justifying your break in your academics for some reason or other. And it is also a matter of alternate choices that you are keeping up your sleeve. It is not that blindly. One year is okay. 1 year you are taking it. A second year, it is a cause of Allah because your contemporaries have gone 2 years ahead of you.
Exactly.
And if you take a second year also a drop, then there is something one need to be concerned about.
Got it.
Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And sir, we have Sainik school candidates also. So they are asking, is there any kind of more expectations from Sainik school and military school candidates who go for SSB?
Of course, because they have been given greater opportunities in life to learn and live a life which is more productive. Imagine if a village boy who comes from a place where there are no facilities. Here is a Sainik school boy, and he's been put through a kind of routine where there are enough and more opportunities to learn things. Has he learned from that? If he has not learned, then what is he doing there?
Right, sir. Right, sir.
So he has to learn. I am also from a Sainik school. So you have to make use of that opportunity. Suppose there is, he has hardly gone for NCC camp is not just one annual training camp. There are so many other camps that comes to a Sainik school boy. There is some advanced leadership course and there is some mountaineering course and other things. Has he gone for that? Has he taken part in games? And has he developed his skill in something or the other the school gives opportunities for?
Right, sir.
Otherwise, what is he doing there?
Okay, I think he has got the answer, and we'll be taking last question. It is by Vatan Singh. He is asking that if suppose we are not able to answer the rapid question as the sequence that interviewing officer has asked, so how it will impact his performance?
Okay. Now, first is this myth about this is another question. There is nothing called a rapid fire question. That is, there is one comprehensive. There are few comprehensive introductory questions. Basically, why we do this is we also want to know what is your retention capability. If you hear something, are you able to retain the essence of the problem that has been asked to you, or you just go away? Okay. And the interviewing officer. Meaning, when he comes into the interviewing officer's room, initially he asks some very simplistic questions. How was your journey? Describe your journey, or how did you spend the last 2 days? Your spare time in the SSB for the last 2 days. What all did you do? What are some interesting things that you found in the center and things like that, which has got nothing to do with assessment, but it is only for you to speak to him and get familiar with him, and also get familiar with the room that you are listening at, get confident. Because everybody, mind you, even today, if I go for an interview, in the first few minutes, I am also nervous. I am also nervous, what is this chap going to ask me?
Yes, yes.
So once I get into a conversation, I get into the flow, then there is no issue.
Got it, sir. Got it.
Though there is a little bit of anxiety, and there is an anxiety to perform. Anxiety is good as long as that anxiety motivates you and enthuses you to perform. When it becomes a retrograde force or a withdrawing force that it prevents you from performing, then it is bad. That anxiety ought to be there. If anybody doesn't have anxiety, he is not a normal person.
Okay.
So anxiety ought to be there. It is how you utilize, energize that anxiety to perform is what is important.
So there is a candidate.
Now, second is, now I am coming to the retention. It is, first is, if you don't try and absorb the question in complete. That is the first advice for me for the what you call the rapid fire, or what we give as the comprehensive introductory question. And all the questions when we ask, we try and ask a long question to the candidate, because it should not. Then only he will be able to speak and give his If I give you question answer, if I come, Rohit, what's your name? You will say, my name is Rohit. After that, there is nothing. Then there is an uncertainty. So I'll say, Rohit, where are you from? Where do you come from? Which school have you been to? So what was your favorite subject there? What is the subject that you selected? So there is something for you to talk with him. Otherwise, what will you do? You'll say, yes, sir, no, sir, I didn't go there, sir. There will be no interview, it will be happening. Yes. So that is not the aim. The aim is to make you speak so that you feel free to express yourself, and then there is a flow of events, and then events and accomplishments that it make happen. So pick up the key words from them. Now, like I asked you, he asked me, where do I come from? The school that I've been to, my favorite subjects, my important subjects, what is my future plan? So only those things, and it is ideal if you can answer every question in the sequence that it has been asked to. Right. But it may not be possible all the time. You must try and remember as much as possible and try and answer. Even if you fail in the sequence, it is okay. But it couldn't be jumbled up. Right from the word go, you don't remember anything. Some bit you have forgotten, it's okay. And sometimes what will happen when you have answered much of it, the interviewing officer will repeat that question and say, you answer only those aspects that you have not answered. So you should be able to pick up those aspects and then answer. Somebody who is not focused and anxiety has overtaken him, he will again miss the target.
Got it, sir. Got
So
it. Got
we are also trying to see your capability to adapt to the situation, find the get on to the key problems, and then answer only those. So it is not. Ideally, you can if you can sequence your answer, there's nothing like it, bale, but that doesn't happen. So you will be given a, but you can't be blank from word go. Sir, I don't remember anything.
right.
If you remember about 60-70% of the question, well and good. You can
Yes.
say the otherwise you can say, sir, I am not able to exactly recollect everything, but I'll attempt. Or you can say that is another way. And second, next is you can say, sir, if you could please pardon me, if you could repeat the question, he will repeat.
Got it, sir.
He will ask you. Don't worry, but ideally the best is it is now between buying apples, one costing 290 rupees and one costing 180 rupees. So the person who can retain everything and answer will go to the 290 group. The other one will come live in that 180. So that is how we make out the difference, but it's not essential. But it cannot be jumbled up. There is no sequence.
Right,
Absolutely mixed up, and you make it out like a khichdi and bring it about. That cannot happen.
Got it, sir. Got it. Got it. I think we have more than 50 candidates, so it is very difficult for us to take each and every one question. So to brief you all,
but you can combine. I can spend 5 more minutes. You can combine few questions and tell me. I can answer.
So most of them are asking that if they stuck in English and if they are not able to speak or give their interview in English.
One is your entire course of instruction after joining the academy is in English. So you have to have a certain degree of English. We don't want Oxford English, but are you able to communicate in between? So while you are communicating, if you can, उसके बीच में you can use 1 or 2 sentences. Like I have night boost. I purposely use that उसके बीच में. That one or few words if you can use, or a little little clause here and there to join your sentence and continue speaking. Nothing like it. But you cannot go absolutely to Hindi. Though they will tell you there is no problem if you wish to speak in Hindi. You may speak in Hindi also, but your questions will be in English. But that notwithstanding, if I select such a candidate who has no knowledge of English, then he will be doomed after joining the academy. He will be absolutely in a waterloo.
Definitely, sir.
Okay. So a fair knowledge of English should be there, and it comes out of practice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Only way is practice. I already told you the example of the roped boy. Sir. He had nobody to. His father and mother were, literally 6th pass and 7th pass. But he struggled. He learned his English, and he could express reasonably well. And I would grant him the social economic background and give him that credit that this boy has learned so much, even without somebody to speak to him in English elsewhere. And his parents also have aimed high for him, and he has made use of that opportunity. And there is another boy who studied in army school or another good KV school and comes and says, sir, I don't know English. Then he has not made use of his life opportunities to improve himself. So that is a cause of concern, and he will continue to be like that.
Got it, sir. And sir, there is a girl who is asking that Ajkal, because there is a pandemic situation, still some candidates are going for physical training. So is it possible that if like we are launching this SSB guidance program online, so it will be beneficial for them or not?
See, benefit is for you. I can only tell. I can take the horse to the water. To drink or not to drink is your choice. Definitely. We can guide you. We can polish you, provided you wish to get polished. Otherwise, we cannot do anything to you. Suppose you refuse to learn. It is like skipping a class or coming to a class or skipping a class. The class is there. The teacher is taking the class. You wish to sit there, make notes and study or not study is your choice.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
So you make use of that choice and learn if you wish to learn. Otherwise, it is gone situation.
Definitely. So I think, sir, most of the questions are now answered, and candidates को मैं बताना चाहता हूँ ये चीज़ कि soon product will be live on website, as well as if you have any query, you can call on the description box. Sir will be training you for your SSB that you'll be having. And if you have any doubts regarding your SSB interview process, you can call in the description box. Number is given there. And thank you so much, sir, for giving your time. And soon again, we'll be seeing you with one more live session.
Okay. My last word to everyone. For the entire SSB, I can guide you through the psychology. I can guide you through the GTO, and put you through practical experience of the interview and tell you where you are going wrong or right, and help you. The effort has to be yours to learn and improve. I told you, a boy got selected on the 23rd chance because he worked very hard. He polished himself up. He has knocked every door, and then somebody guided him to me, and we worked together, and he made it. So it is a question of how much effort you can put in. I would remind you, for Narendra Modi and me and you, for everybody, there is only 24 hours in a day. You can't extend it you can't reduce it either. It is how you productively use the 24 hours for your benefit is what. We are not going to live 1 second extra than what we are destined for. Within the time, what we make yourself, how we make use of the time to make something out of us is what is important. If you work, you will get it. If you don't work, you don't get it. That's it.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So I think
thank you, and good night to all of you.
Good night,
we hope to meet you in strength and make use of this facility.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Good night to you.
Good night, sir.
Good night.